All right, we're here. It's the eve of the draft. Matt Ignall, Sam Sheehan, and we're joined by the Athletics' Sam Vecini, who hasn't been on here for like a year. It's been too long, but we have him now. We're going to pick his brain. Sam, who are the Celtics going to select with the 27th pick? Give me a name.
There are too many, but I will throw you Jacob Evans from Cincinnati. He's been there for two workouts. Kind of fits exactly what the Celtics want. He can shoot, he can pass, he can defend. Really, really good kid, really competitive kid. Really, like, he played at the combine when he really didn't have to, just because he wanted to prove himself in a way. So that's the kind of Danny Ainge mindset that I think he will appreciate. But like, Grayson Allen fits this, and Kyrie Thomas fits this, and like DeAnthony Melton fits the super competitive drive. And if Dante DiVincenzo was to fall, he fits this. I mean, Josh Okogie is super competitive like this. Bruce Brown's, what is it? The coach of BABC is like a scout for the Celtics, his AAU teams. So like, it's a mess at 27 for the Celtics, but it's a good mess because there are a lot of guys there that I think could really become role players for them.
When kind of talking about and dealing with like some of these wings, and it is, the draft really is just such a crapshoot, at a certain point, once you get late in the draft, but usually, after 20 in most drafts, there is an all-star somewhere on the board, whether that's, in the first round or the second round.
27.
At 27. So there is, there might be, you might have your Jimmy Butler or your Draymond Green or, someone, might be there. With kind of looking, you brought up Jacob Evans, and one thing that's like kind of stands out to me is you've got these guys who, you on the one hand, it really seems like with some of these guys you're kind of picking one or the other, where you're either picking these older guys that are a little bit more polished, guys like Grayson Allen, guys like Jacob Evans, who isn't as athletically he's not like a Melvin Frazier or type or anything like that, but he is like a very heady, competitive, he's not going to make any mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, I think Alex Kangu said on Twitter when we were talking about our draft board that, Jacob Evans is a single, you know what I'm saying? He's not like the home run hit that you're trying to get. What if you were kind of in charge of the Celtics, Sam, like where would you lean as far as like maybe trying to go for these higher upside guys like, Melvin Frazier, who could be the tall, thin Marcus Smart. But like, if he figures out the shooting would be just, an incredible player, or do you go for someone who can contribute, projects as a more solid contributor, but maybe might not have that same upside like a Kyrie Thomas or a Jacob Evans or one of those guys?
Yeah, in the Celtics case, I would probably go with the latter, to be honest, just because they already have their high upside guys. They have their Jason Tatums, their Jaylen Browns. They have the star level talent already in Gordon Hayward and now Horford, Kyrie Irving as well, although Irving's long-term future in Boston is a little bit murky, it seems like. But at the same time, I would be happy to get the single here. I would be ecstatic to get the single because they also have the picks coming. They have Sacramento's pick coming. They have Memphis's pick coming. They have maybe a Clippers pick coming at some point, depending on if that ever transfers. So I look at all of this and say, hey, this is a situation where I would be happy to get the guy that I feel more certain is going to be able to contribute next year, especially if you're in a situation where Boston feels like they might be in the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes and they might need to aggregate a lot of these lower level players on their roster together to get to the salary matching level. Like they have to, throw Shimi Ojale and Marcus Morris at $5 million, and then Abdul Nader at $1.5 million to kind of get to where they need to make the salaries match. It might help if they have this 27th pick that can come in and be a rotation player for them immediately if that doesn't get sent for Kawhi Leonard.
All right, well, we're going to talk a little bit more about Kawhi Leonard a little bit later. You can catch that in our next video. But first, I want to tell you all about Hims, the one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. The best part about Hims is that they connect you with real doctors to treat your hair loss with actual medical-grade solutions. We're not talking about concoctions that you make at home. We're talking about prescription solutions backed by science. Just go to forhims.com right now. Sign up's easy. Just answer a few quick questions, and a doctor will be assigned to you. Our listeners get a special trial month of Hims for just $5 today while supplies last. Just go to forhims.com/Celtics. That's forhims.com/Celtics. I want to thank Sam Vecini for joining us today. Out of The Athletic, He was telling me last year how Jason Tatum was number 2 on his board. He proved right about that. Maybe even had him too low.
No, I love Jason Tatum, so I also want a little bit of credit for I hit my head pretty hard after the draft, so I don't totally remember what I said, but I'm pretty sure I was high on him, and history will vindicate me.
You said something embarrassing. You said something, Sam, that I was thinking about a lot this year. Actually, how like with Tatum, it wasn't so much like the fluidity of his motion that allowed him to create separation. It's just that his legs were just so extremely long. And I think we saw
kind of the unique combination. Yeah,
it's true. No, but just the space he's able to create is just insane.
Well, that, and also he's a Kaufman-esque, character actor who did a sarcastic college basketball season specifically to get me in trouble. I will take that to my grave.
Yeah.
He did a sarcastic basketball season. I'm taking it to my grave. Anyway.
Wait, Sam, can we talk about who you guys perceive as the most weird Celtics Twitter draft pick this year?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked. It's absolutely Josh Okogie. We've already crowdsourced this. There's been a lot. He's thick and jacked. His Instagram. People have already gone through his Instagram, and there's a lot of him just being cool. Like he's just hanging out and wearing some of the coolest shirts.
Very cool dude.
He's an extremely cool dude, and I think everyone's pretty on board that it is not Grayson Allen. There's an extremely anti-Grayson Allen factor. So the fact that he looks like Ted Cruz really was the final nail in the coffin for a lot of weird Celtics Twitter. But I think it's definitely Josh Okogie. But I think everyone's going to find a way to talk themselves into pretty much anyone. But I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because I think someone else that the Celtics are kind of looking at would be a good fit, but might not necessarily probably will not slide to 27, but maybe could slide out of the lottery, so to speak, or something like that, is a guy like Robert Williams. Kind of along those lines, talking about guys who might slide a little bit. Probably not any of those top picks. Like I don't think Trae Young is getting out of the lottery or anyone like that, but do you see like a guy who's like pretty regularly projected on mocks, inside the lottery that might slide, to a position where, Danny Ainge, who does have Terry Rozier and, Marcus Morris and some of these future picks might be tempted to rehash the Justice Winslow mistake and try and put himself in debt and trade up for one of those guys? Is there one that you see as like a particularly good fit?
A Celtics guy. I don't really see Williams as a Celtics guy, though, is the problem. He's someone that where if you talk to him, he will tell you, I need to play harder. I need to, kind of be engaged in the game more often. Doesn't really seem like someone that's going to, attract himself to Danny Ainge necessarily. Yeah, I mean, Dante DiVincenzo, if they want to maybe move up to 17, 18, if they really value Dante, that's the kind of guy where I can see them moving up and just being like, yeah, we've fallen in love with this guy in workouts. We've fallen in love with him during interviews. He has that FU mentality. We want that on our team. That wouldn't cost a crazy amount either, I wouldn't think, to move up from 27 to 17 or something like that. I'm trying to think of some other guys. If Zaire Smith fell to 20,
there we go.
Would be interesting. Really, really good kid, plays hard. Basically a 4 in a 1's body. So that would just definitely fit with the Celtics. I'm trying to think of other guys. Colin Sexton would be very interesting. If Colin Sexton fell to 14 or 15, I don't know that they've met with Sexton, which is a problem. But I would bet that if you put Sexton and Danny Ainge in a room together, it would either be a fight or it would be just complete love and bromanship and just so much excitement. It would be one or the other. There would be no in between, though.
It would be a passionate conversation, definitely. one way or the other.